Close your eyes for a second. Now, imagine a sound. It starts as a low rumble, like a sleeping dragon waking up. Then it screams. A jet turbine spinning up to speed, or maybe the roar of an exposed V8 engine tearing up the asphalt. You know exactly what that sound is, don't you? It's not just a car. It is the only vehicle in history that is just as famous as its driver. It is a tank. It is a laboratory. It is a weapon. For over 60 years, the Batmobile has been the ultimate symbol of power. But here is the crazy part. The car you see on screen tells you everything you need to know about the Batman driving it. From the goofy gadgets of the 1960s to the terrifying muscle car of the 2020s, this machine has evolved from a shiny toy into a horror movie monster. How did we get from a $1 concept car to a military tank that can jump across rooftops? And what does the Batmobile look like today in the year 2025? Buckle up. We are going for a ride through history. To understand the car, we first have to understand the man. Batman does not have superpowers. He cannot fly, he is not bulletproof, and he cannot run at the speed of sound. He is just a man, a very rich, very angry man. Because he is human, he needs an equalizer. He needs something that levels the playing field against aliens, mutants, and clowns. That is where the car comes in. The Batmobile isn't just transportation. It is an extension of Batman himself. When Batman is campy and fun, the car is bright and colorful. When Batman is dark and broken, the car becomes a jagged shadow. Over the last 6 decades, this vehicle has gone through 6 major transformations. Each one reflects the era it was built in. And trust me, some of the stories behind these cars are stranger than the movies themselves. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1965. TV producers are scrambling to put together a show called Batman. They have the actors, they have the costumes, but they have a massive problem. They don't have the car. With only 3 weeks left before filming starts, they call a man named George Barris. George is a legendary car customizer in Los Angeles. They ask him if he can build the coolest car in the world, and they need it now. George remembers an old concept car he has sitting in his junkyard. It is called the Lincoln Futura. It was built by Ford in the 1950s as a car of the future, but it never went into production. George Barris had bought this one-of-a-kind vehicle from Ford for exactly $1. Yes, you heard that right. The most famous car in TV history cost $1. George takes a hammer to the metal. He extends the fins to look like bat wings. He paints the whole thing glossy black with neon red trim. He adds a flashing siren on top. The result is the 1966 Batmobile. This car fits the era perfectly. It is the atomic age. People are obsessed with gadgets and nuclear power. So the car is packed with silly but wonderful toys. It has a bat phone to call the police. It has an automatic tire inflator. It even has a bat ray that can open doors. When Adam West drives this car, he isn't hiding in the shadows. He is driving in broad daylight. The engine isn't scary, it purrs. It represents a time when heroes were deputies of the law, not vigilantes. It is sleek, beautiful, and safe. But as the years went by, the world changed. The 1970s and 80s became darker. Crime rates went up. The world didn't need a shiny hero anymore. It needed a monster. Jump forward to 1989. Director Tim Burton is rebooting the franchise. He doesn't want a comedy. He wants a gothic nightmare. The production designer Anton Furst is given a difficult task. He has to design a car that looks like a knight in armor. He wants it to look like a war machine, but also like a piece of art. They build the new car on the chassis of 2 Chevrolet Impalas spliced together. But you wouldn't know it by looking at it. The 1989 Batmobile is long, low, and terrifying. The most striking feature is the nose. It features a massive round intake for a jet turbine. This isn't just for show. In the movie world, this car is powered by a jet engine. It breathes fire. The design is purely psychological. It is meant to intimidate. It has machine guns that pop out of the fenders. It has grappling hooks to take corners at high speeds. It can even drop bombs from the wheels. But here is a funny fact about this legendary car. It was a nightmare to drive. The hood was so long that the driver couldn't see the road properly. The car was so low to the ground that it couldn't drive over speed bumps, and it had almost no turning radius. If Batman needed to make a U-turn, he was in trouble. Yet to this day, many fans consider this the real Batmobile. It represents the mystery of the character. It is sleek, dangerous, and completely impractical, just like a comic book brought to life. As we move into the mid-90s, Hollywood decides to change direction again. They want to sell toys. Lots of toys. The movies Batman Forever and Batman and Robin introduce a new style. The darkness is gone. In its place, we get neon lights, giant statues, and rubber suits. The Batmobile changes too. The 1995 design is inspired by the creepy artwork of H.R. Giger, the man who designed the monster in the movie Alien. If you look closely at the 1995 car, it looks like it has ribs. The engine glows with blue light. The wheels have bat symbols on the hubcaps that stay upright while the tires spin. It is flashy. It is loud. It is designed to look good on a toy store shelf. Then comes the 1997 version. This one is huge. It has an open cockpit, which, if you think about it, is a terrible idea for a crime fighter. It leaves Batman's head completely exposed to gunfire. But logic doesn't matter here. It is about spectacle. While these cars are fun, they lose the threatening edge. They feel like parade floats, not urban assault vehicles. By the end of the 90s, the franchise is dead. People are tired of the neon lights. They want something real. In 2005, director Christopher Nolan reboots the story with Batman Begins. His goal is hyper-realism. He asks a simple question. Where would a billionaire actually get a high-tech car? He wouldn't build it in a cave. He would steal it from the military. Enter the Tumbler. This is the most radical change in Batmobile history. It doesn't look like a car. It looks like a stealth fighter jet mated with a bulldozer. It weighs 2.5 tons. It has 6 tires, 4 in the back, 2 in the front. And here is the most amazing part. The Tumbler is real. The director hated computer-generated effects. He wanted a real vehicle that could actually do the stunts. So his team built a fully functional tank. This thing has a 5.7-liter V8 engine. It can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5 seconds. You know that scene where the Batmobile jumps across a river? They actually did that. The car jumped 30 feet through the air and landed without braking. The only problem was that it was so loud, the stunt drivers had to wear noise-canceling headphones so they wouldn't go deaf. The Tumbler changed everything. It wasn't about style anymore. It was about function. It could smash through concrete walls. It had a stealth mode that turned off the lights and engine. It was a brute. This version of the car tells us that this new Batman isn't a superhero. He is a soldier. He is fighting a war on the streets of Gotham, and he brought a tank to the gunfight. A decade later, we meet Ben Affleck's Batman. This version of the character is older, meaner, and more tired. He's been fighting crime for 20 years. His car reflects that. The 2016 Batmobile is a mix of the two previous eras. It has the military toughness of the Tumbler, but the long, low shape of the 1989 classic. It is wide and flat to the ground. It looks like a predator, crouching before it attacks. It is armed to the teeth, featuring a massive cannon on the front deck. This car doesn't just stop criminals, it goes through them. The design language here is aggressive. Every angle is sharp. The tires are tractor-sized. It is a vehicle designed by a man who has stopped caring about collateral damage. It is purely efficient and terrifyingly fast. And now, we arrive at the modern era, the era we are living in right now. When The Batman was released in 2022, it introduced us to Robert Pattinson's version of the hero. This is a young Bruce Wayne. He is only in his second year of being a vigilante. He doesn't have military contacts. He doesn't have endless resources. Yet. So what does his car look like? It looks like something he built himself, in a garage. This is my personal favorite evolution. It strips away the tanks and the jet engines. Instead, it takes the body of a classic American muscle car, something like a Dodge Charger or a Plymouth Barracuda, and turns it into a horror movie monster. The most important feature of this car is the engine. It is not hidden under a hood. It is exposed, sitting right at the back of the car. It glows red hot, like the heart of a beast. When this car starts up, it sounds like a scream.
Hey, Vincent!
The director, Matt Reeves, wanted the car to feel like the possessed vehicle from the Stephen King movie Christine. It is meant to scare the criminals not with missiles, but with pure fear. There is a famous scene where the car sits idling in the shadows, revving its engine. The blue flames from the exhaust light up the rain. It feels raw. It feels dangerous. It's not a polished superhero tool. It's a blunt instrument of vengeance. So, here we are. It is November 2025. We are currently in a fascinating waiting period. We know that the next chapter of the saga, The Batman Part 2, has been delayed until late 2026. Fans everywhere are still rewatching that chase scene from the first movie, listening to that V8 engine roar. But we also know that change is coming. A new DC universe is launching this year with Superman, and we know a new Batman movie called The Brave and the Bold is in development. What will the next Batmobile look like? Will it go back to the futuristic sci-fi look? Will it be a flying car? Or will it double down on the gritty realism? One thing is certain. As long as there is a Batman, there will be a Batmobile. It is the one constant in a world of chaos. It evolves, it adapts, and it survives. From the red-trimmed convertible of 1966 to the terrifying muscle car of today, the Batmobile has never just been a prop. It is a mirror. When we felt safe, it was a toy. When we felt scared, it was a tank. When we felt angry, it was a beast. It connects the man to the mission. Without the car, Batman is just a guy in a costume standing in an alley. With the car, he is a force of nature. So the next time you hear that engine roar, whether it's a turbine whine or a V8 rumble, remember the history behind it. You aren't just looking at a cool vehicle. You are looking at 60 years of pop culture, engineering, and imagination, all wrapped up in black metal and 4 rubber tires. And honestly, I can't wait to see what they build next.